Good morning, everybody. Good morning to everybody online and in the shrine room. Finally, it's cooled down a little bit. And I know that some of us are suffering with hay fever, so apologies if I sniffle during proceedings. So we have a Dharma glimpse to start with. And I've chosen one of Kaspa's and they're going to read it for us. Sorry.
We were going to London to see The Master and the Queue at the National Theatre. My best friend had ordered the tickets months ago, front row seats, and we were both looking forward to seeing it. I arrived at their house at 9:30 in the morning and we set off. We travelled by car, and then by train, and then by foot, and arrived about half an hour before the show. The play was excellent. We left the theatre and then immediately retraced our steps. We arrived back at their house at 9 o'clock in the evening. A long day for both of us. I drove home from there, another hour and a quarter, and collapsed into bed. In the middle of the night, I woke up, running over the day in my head and analysing the conversations with my friend. I hadn't listened properly here, I'd interrupted there, this joke had fallen flat. I distracted them during a difficult piece of driving. I concluded that I wouldn't hear it all from them this week and we must be drifting apart and real catastrophizing stuff. I tried to settle my thoughts. Whether my observations and conclusions were right or not, there wasn't any value in thinking these thoughts at this hour of the night. I recited the Nembutsu to myself. At first, just using the repetitive words to clear my mind. And then bringing to mind the times I had felt connected to something bigger than my small self, times when I'd felt supported by Amida, by the unfolding of life itself, by Dharmakaya. Another way of thinking about the day came to me. I remembered the many jokes we had shared during the day, the moments of tenderness. I remembered the signs of affection. The other negative things were true as well, but they were a small part of this big picture. How easy it is to tell different stories about the same day, depending on what we focus on. How easily I chose the negative over the positive. The default story was one of rejection rather than support. How fortunate that the very big story of Amida accepting all beings just as they are allowed me to feel the actual positive experience of the day. My friend reached out to me the next day. We were as close as we ever were. There was nothing to those fears. And how grateful I am to the Nembutsu for finding a way through them. Namo Amida Butsu.
And so we're going to move into a period of quiet, of meditation. And it's often at these times that our mind will start to wander off to our insecurities or worries. And that's where we can use our breath. We think of it like an anchor, something that just grounds us and holds us. And just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, if you can, and you're not full of hay fever. Just having that awareness of the breath and just using that to ground you. Or if you struggle with that, just having that awareness of the Nembutsu in your mind. Just holding yourself steady with the breath. And when difficulties arise in your mind, you just let them go with the breath. We're going to start to pull ourselves back from our breathing and meditation and transition into the Nembutsu. And as we chant Amitabha, we think about how that holds us in this space, safety and love, where we can offer all that we're worried about to Amida, to Amitabha. Amitabha, 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 So we're going to move on to our refuges and the precepts, and we're trying out the new precepts again, and you'll find those on a piece of paper next to you if you're not familiar with them yet. And we'll see how we go. And I think do feedback how you feel about them as well. It'd be really lovely to hear what people think. For refuge, I go to the Buddha.
For refuge, I go to the Buddha,
The one who is awake and full of love.
the one who is awake and full of love.
For refuge, I go to the Dharma.
For refuge, I go to the Dharma,
All that guides us to wisdom and compassion.
all that guides us to wisdom and compassion.
Namo Dhammaya.
Namo Dhammaya.
For refuge, I go to the Sangha.
For refuge, I go to the Sangha,
All who live in the Buddha's light.
all who live in the Buddha's light.
Namo Sanghaya.
Namo Sanghaya.
With faith in the three jewels
With faith in the three jewels,
and in light of my human tendencies,
and in light of my human tendencies,
I pray that I may become aware
I pray that I may become aware
of when I take life.
of when I take life.
I pray that I may become aware
I pray that I may become aware
of when I take what is not freely given.
of when I take what is not freely given.
I pray that I may become aware
I pray that I may become aware
of when I fall into sexual misconduct.
of when I fall into sexual misconduct.
I pray that I may become aware
I pray that I may become aware
of when I fall into wrong speech.
of when I fall into wrong speech.
I pray that I may become aware
I pray that I may become aware
of when I become intoxicated.
of when I become intoxicated.
No blame,
No blame,
be kind,
be kind,
love everything.
love everything.
Innumerable are sentient beings.
We vow to save them all.
Inexhaustible are deluded passions.
We vow to transform them all.
Immeasurable are the Dharma teachings.
We vow to master them all.
Infinite is the Buddha's way.
We vow to fulfill it completely. So, there's lots of things going on at the moment within our little community around the vows and the precepts. So that has been an inspiration for my Dharma talk. And I wanted to start with a little bit of text that may or may not be familiar to some of you. A prayer I make a Buddha to become, equal to you, my Dharma king, to lead all beings to the other shore, leaving none behind. And these words are Dharmakara in the larger Pure Land Sutra. And they always get to me. I don't know what it is, but the last little part of to lead all beings to the other shore, leaving none behind. And I would say that there's a tiny seed of that in all of us, that we just want to pull everybody towards the Pure Land. And it's such a powerful vow. You know, here we are, our bamboo selves. You know, we struggle to hold the precepts that we sit with weekly. You know, the vows that we make seem so small compared to Dharmakara, who's seeking Buddhahood. You know, you think, wow, that's really bold. You know, he's going to do all this. Gosh, I feel so inferior in front of that. But you know, he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for everyone, for all of us. And I think it's so powerful to connect with humanity in that way. And then I was thinking about how we keep our own vows from all walks of life, the vows that we make to not just in here, but in other parts of our lives. And there's been a few dog walks this week where I've been thinking about vows that I've made in the past, and the vows that are coming up soon. What will change? How have I changed? What things in my life are different? And yeah, I always think a dog walk solves everything. If you're not a dog owner, you're missing out. And you know, an example of vows that we were thinking about in our house the other day was marriage vows. You know, my husband and I have been married for 19 years. And I don't think he'll mind me saying that we were sitting in the kitchen and I said, I don't even remember what we promised you. And he was like, no. And I started to, I've forgotten it now, but I started to do the guide law. Do you remember the Gowd and the Scout? I promised that I will do my best. And he went, to do my duties. We were like, oh yeah, that's Scouts and Guides, and had a bit of a joke about it. but it's true, you know, and even that as an example, if you ever did the Scouts or the Guides, which I did ever so briefly, I didn't make a very good guide at all. But I remember having to, you know, really learn this guide law, and this is the thing we'd have to stand up and say. And you know, I'm not sure how much we really thought about it when we did it. We just knew it was part of having the badge to get in. But you know, there are some vows that are, you know, okay, we say it because we have to say it. But then there are the vows that we say in here that are more than that. You know, this is about trying to change ourselves, not as in change ourselves, but have an awareness of when we do something that affects somebody else. Yeah, so I started looking at a book called Everyday Buddhism. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it. I know some people will be. So Wendy Shinya Haylett, who's a Bright Dawn teacher, which some of you will have come across. Her book Everyday Buddhism spends a lot of time going through the path, and she looks at the 10 non-virtues and groups them together in body, speech and mind. And, you know, we're all familiar with things around that. And, you know, she puts it so beautifully about how we should look at the vows. And she said, you know, basically the Buddha's trying to tell us that, you know, we just need to use this as a way to try and make the world a better place. And she says, you know, it's the small stuff that matters. And I love that idea of just, it's the small stuff. It's not the really big stuff, because the small stuff adds up to the big stuff. And then she gives examples like, you know, if you use the toilet roll up, do you think to put another toilet roll on? You know, and we sometimes or, you know, if you leave something, you know, leaving something on the stairs, well, somebody could fall on that, so we don't leave something on the stairs. So it's so I should tell that to my kids when they leave stuff around. But, yeah, so it's all the small things. And I love that she writes, heaven is built on small things, or the Pure Land is built on small things, however you want to do it. So it's that good things happen from helping other people, and that's all that we can try and do. And then I started to explore when we hold our hands, because we hold our hands in Gasho, and you know, what that means when we do that. Are we making a promise? Is it you know, is it something that's grounding us? What is it connecting us with something? And in Jodo Shinshu, I was reading that they have the idea that the left represents our human realm and the right represents awakening and enlightenment. So then when we put them together, we're bringing this union that's perfect. If you hold your hands up in front of you, most of us have hands that align, they match, if we're lucky enough. You know, and it's about this perfect union, and the Buddha in me meets the Buddha in you when we bow to each other. So I'm giving you a little exercise as part of my Dharma talk. I want you to hold your hands out in front of you, and I want you to look at the front and the back, and just breathe for a moment and just reflect on how many times you can think of where your hands have helped somebody else, the purposes that they've had, what you've done with them that may have contributed to the support of somebody else. You might have given somebody medicine, you might have carried somebody's groceries, your hands might have picked somebody else up, you might have held somebody when they felt alone. And all those actions, they're all part of what we talk about in the precepts. So when we perhaps don't feel comfortable with the words, even if we just sit with our hands together and just breathe and just reflect on how our hands can help others, that can just be enough just to help us to feel that we have that purpose. And when we put the hands together, it's about creating this sort of positive action. And I grabbed a quote from Clark Strand from Tricycle magazine, who's one of their editors, who wrote, "For every moment of delusion, every act of greed, folly, or confusion, there is a Mida right beside us, embracing us as we are. If it were necessary to change first, in order to be worthy of birth in the Pure Land, few of us could attain it. Fortunately, all that is required is that we unite with Tathagata. When we join the palms together in this way, in an expression of simple faith, and utter the words, Namo Amida Butsu, and whether we count our beads or not, all is taken care of. Amida embraces us on the spot." So if you're feeling wobbly with your vows, then just putting our hands together on those three beautiful little words, Namo Amida Bu, is all we really have to be present with. Namo Amida Bu. I invite you to stand and we'll do prostrations, she says, with a dodgy foot. Ooh. Okay.
In gratitude, we offer this incense to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout space and time. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting our careful efforts, our wholehearted awareness, and the fruits of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home.
And bow to to each other. And to our seats and have a tidy. Do we have any announcements that we need to make?
If you are willing to put your name on the sheet in the hallway to do a Dharma glimpse at some point in the future, thank you, Dave and Philip. You'd be very welcome to.
We'll do our final blessing.
Blessed by Amitabha's light, may we care for all living things and the holy earth.
Namo Mihita. Thank you, everyone.
I had a horrible thought that you might have had your name down for today.
I did, yeah.
Sorry.
That's right.
So that's my system that I haven't actually used.
Right.
Because I didn't actually
So just stop it.
Yeah.
We're still getting it in.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. It's like it's such a surprise to have a name on there.